I'm going to make a Sicilian olive oil cake. It's a beautiful cake, one of my favourites, really zingy and lemony but so moist. It's featuring this beautiful local olive oil, Fiumara. It's grown in Harvey, WA. So I'm going to start by making a buttermilk, which is simply curdled soy milk. You could use any plant-based milk. And that keeps it really moist because it's just like using yogurt or something like that. So to do that, I'm just going to put in some plant-based milk of any kind. And then I'm going to add a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And naturally, that's going to actually curdle the milk, which is actually what we want in this case. Okay, let's give that a little stir. So for the dry mix of the cake, we're going to use self-raising flour because we want that extra bit of lift. And I'm also going to add some almond meal for moistness and caster sugar. And I'm also going to add a pinch of salt and also just a little bit of bicarb just to give it extra lift, even though we're using self-raising flour as well. Okay, so that's our dry mix there. Just get that a little mix so it's all very well combined. Now, the other part of the cake that is the moisture is the olive oil. So about 3/4 of a cup. Look at that beautiful golden colour. It's such a lovely ingredient to use. And the other flavours we want in there are vanilla, for which I'm using a paste. Nice and thick, so I get my finger in there. And also a little bit of orange essence, which is something like this. So you could use orange zest, but the traditional Sicilian recipe, which I developed this based on, uses orange essence and lemon essence, but we're using the lemon juice and zest. And I'm also going to zest in the zest of at least 1 lemon. I like it really lemony, so really go for your life here. If you've got lots of lemons on the tree, maybe 2 lemons. So it's time to put it all together now. And before I do that, I've already prepped my cake tin. It's buttered, vegan buttered that is, and a little ring of baking paper. But what you're wondering maybe is, what are these purple things? Now these are something called baking bands, and I think they're really, really helpful because it's going to cause the cake to cook evenly so we don't get that doming effect. We get a nice flat top, which we all want. So that's ready to go. It's important to have that ready to go before we mix the cake, because when the bicarb starts reacting with the lemon juice, we want those gases, that air, to stay in there, so the quicker we can get it into the oven, the better. So into our dry mix, I'm going to put our buttermilk, and then I'm going to follow that up with the olive oil, vanilla, lemon and orange mix, and give it a little whisk, a gentle whisk together. So I don't want to overwork it, I want to keep those bubbles in there, so that's probably enough, and in we go. So I'm going to just give it a light little spread, but as I said before, I want to get it in the oven pretty quickly, so I'm not going to mess around too much. So that is simply going to go in the oven for about 45 minutes at 180. It's now time for the magic moment, my favourite part of this cake, and that's decorating it. I'm using an old doily tablecloth, something you can find in op shops for like $1, and they are so worth it. Because, as you're going to see, we're going to make the most beautiful pattern on top of this cake. So when you get a doily cloth like this, there's so many options and you can take your pick. So I'm going to use this lovely little rosette here, right in the middle. And I'm simply going to get some icing sugar. And once you've got it lined up, nice and central, or however you like it, I'm going to go over. there we have it, a beautiful Sicilian olive oil cake.